So for this video, we're going to be playing some more Tempo Assassin. This is a list that's been very, very kind to me this season, rocking a solid 70% win rate, and the list is mostly unchanged from the last time. I did take out the Telvanni Magisters. A lot of times they were just sitting dead in my hand, so right now I've replaced them with Shadow Shift to provide some additional utility, some more cycle, and so far I'm pretty satisfied with how they've been performing. So without further ado, let's hop right in, see how the game goes. So this is, again, Tempo Assassin, top 100 on the ladder. Looks like we're going to be going first against Sorcerer, which is not a great way to start. Sorcerer can give this deck fits if we don't draw enough of our reach. This is not what we want in the opener. We want 2-drops, and we found some. This is much, much better. So we're going to do something a little bit non-traditional, and we're probably going to end up starting Shadow Lane here, largely because against Sorcerer, you just can't really win the field lane.
Of course, I'm on your side.
So we'll actually be going there later. Alright, so that is a Mammoth, which is not great for us,
Coming, eh?
for obvious reasons. We're going to go ahead and slow it down so that it buys us some time with this.
I keep a spare blade in my belt.
Develop a couple more threats, and if they don't do anything to further contest the Mournhold in terms of size, we may just double trade into that.
By the 8th, they will meet their makers.
Wow, okay. Interesting that they are running Suppress. Not a card I was expecting to see.
Do your worst.
Let's go ahead and get that going. Now, they're going to hit here.
By the 8th, they will
We're going to go
meet
here
their
so we
makers.
can try to contest their own Daggerfall. And we're actually, well, no. I was considering putting the dagger here for saturation purposes, but if I do that and they have a negation, it's a wasted dagger. And honestly, we kind of want them to trade and then put a tome on there. If they do that, it theoretically protects from our own Daggerfall, but then Seda trades in.
Of the living.
And instead it is a potentially worst case scenario for us in that situation.
I come bearing gifts.
Alright, Sparrow Stalker is annoying. We want to get rid of that. I'm going to go ahead and do this as well.
Gifts.
I prefer to save those when I can. I like the reach that they provide. Yeah.
Wrong place for a midnight stroll.
Sheol take you.
By Arcase Beard, this day
All
will
right.
be mine. I abhor.
So we're going to go ahead and take the trade, use our Leaf Lurker. And right now, it is not going well. This is not the kind of start you want. We want to be the ones hitting face, forcing them to respond. The negation really hurt us, and the Barrow Stalker also slowed us down pretty significantly. So that's a good pickup.
Dumont take you.
We would very much like to get some more value out of that. This is, of course, assuming he doesn't just have a lightning bolt for our poor Leaf Lurker.
Confound you!
Instead, it's a crushing blow. So, interesting inclusions here. And those Bleak Coast Trolls are going to very, very, very quickly prove to be a problem.
By the 8th, they will meet their
Careful
makers.
there.
So we're going to go ahead and do this. Now they can just turn around and double trade into our snake if they want, but I have a feeling they actually might turn up the heat here and try to race us, because without some prophecy help, we cannot outrace them with the board the way that it is. Those are some mighty trolls. Well, that was not ideal. We wanted it to land here so that if they did trade, that they didn't get to hit with the 3 from the spirit right away. Skulk, not a welcome sight.
Confound you!
Horner Club, no help as well. This is... Alright, well this is looking like a loss. This is playing out exactly like I was anticipating, in that with the Sorcerer, as I said kind of at the top, they can be very problematic because a lot of our threats are brittle, and they can tear right through them. Trying to think if there are any actual prophecy outs. I guess a harpy means we're not dead.
Your blood will
So if we do that, the problem then is I could develop Trader and Gambler and save Tazcad for the next turn. Trader and Gambler swing for 8. This is 14. I would still need 6 more damage. It is our only out, though. So, regardless of whether we would like to do this or not, we would need to do this, hope for a Harpy to maybe get us back into it. The problem is even with Tazcad at 10, we don't have enough Magicka to draw anything else.
I keep a spare blade in
Oh,
my
and they
belt.
can just skip it anyway. They had the Crown Quartermaster. Alright.
A fine display.
Well, that was less than ideal.
Victory is yours.
Okay. So, Dwarfy didn't know we were recording, and yet, just up and concede. So, you know, if you're watching on YouTube, whenever this goes live, Dwarfy, I tip my hat to you, sir. I tip my hat to you. Alright. Let's see if we can actually show you what a real win looks like. Let's hope for not Sorcerer. Because while this deck has been very, very good to me, it has not had a good matchup against Sorcerer at all. In fact, I've got more losses to Sorcerer than any other deck other than Telvanni. Sorcerer and Telvanni appear to be the 2 worst matchups, and a lot of that makes sense. This looks keepable. The reason Telvanni is a bad matchup is that unless you draw your reach or your sticky threats, they're just going to run you over. And in fact, Daggerfall, because they run negation and things like that, doesn't even really help in terms of being a sticky threat. You really want your Cliff Racers, your early Mournholds, and to be able to push that damage. Now, you can beat Telvanni, but it is very draw dependent with this deck. If you draw the Sanctuary Pets, if you draw the Harpies, you're just not going to beat Telvanni, so that is why this has a pretty rough matchup there. Now, I am 6-4 against Telvanni, so it is technically still positive, but I believe that is quite the misnomer. I wholeheartedly believe that that is still an unfavored matchup. Despite me being 6-10, that's a very small sample size. Law of large numbers, the more games you play, I think Telvanni is going to be favored. But we're off to a much better start here. We're up against Scout. We have to assume that this is going to be the Uprising Control version. Though, Murkwater Witch, interesting to see. One Magicka left. They are thinking. Perhaps they have a level 1 Drain Vitality and they're questioning whether or not it's worth it. Maybe they want to leave this up, hoping that I will curse here to bait out my play, but
Sheor take.
we're going to go ahead and take the trade because I think that the tome is valuable here. And we're going to go ahead and play the Royal Sage. We already got 2 of our curses. If this dies, doesn't get the 3rd.
In need of my wisdom.
Not that big of a deal. No charge. So we pass. But getting this developed is pretty important because you want to be able to plow through any large guards. There are a small handful that run things like Dark Guardian, and wow, okay. So this is not the traditional version. This is ramp. They are going in. They're going hard in the paint. So let's go ahead and get in with that.
You can't escape.
And get in with that. Puts a tome here because at some point, if they play Thorn Histamage, for example, we can Wardcrafter, get another tome, trade in. This is a much better start compared to last game, though. Oh yeah. So this is assuredly just ramp.
You can't escape.
So we're just gonna go ahead, shackle there.
I come bearing gifts.
Let's get in for 7. That allows us to threaten lethal next turn with a number of things. We do have the Lightning Bolt in our hand. But really putting pressure here, even if they did have a way to bail out. We have a Bolt, we have a Tazcad coming, 3 or 4 turns as well.
The waters of life.
And unless they have something else, that will not be enough. The Daggerfall by itself will take the victory for us. We can skip the last rune.
Careful there, friend. You can't escape.
And yeah. So trade there, that goes there. Technically I didn't have to Wardcrafter, but it's good to go through the motions, make sure you're making right plays as if it wasn't going to be victory. Yeah, so that's Tempo Assassin. First game, obviously not ideal. Dwarfy throwing some love there, but did not go our way as I kind of predicted. Again, Sorcerer is a bad matchup for this deck. Telvanni can be a bad matchup. Everything else has been pretty positive for me, though. As I said, the deck overall on the season carrying a solid 70% win rate, 37-16 on it. For Assassin in a meta like this, I think that's great. So thanks for watching, and until next time, may you walk on warm sands.